Namaste. My name is Manisha Singh, Assistant Professor in Department of Food and Biotechnology under Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. I am teaching you subject Fruits and Vegetable Processing Technology for class BSc FND 4th semester and PTech MTech 4th semester. In our previous session, we will discuss about the drying and rehydration of fruits and vegetables, in which we will discuss all about their process and its advantages and disadvantages of drying and dehydration of fruits and vegetables. In today's session, we will discuss only about the osmotic dehydration of fruits and vegetables. So now let's begin with the topic. First of all, what is osmotic dehydration? So osmotic dehydration is the process of water removal by immersion of water containing cellular solid in a concentrated aqueous solution. So osmotic dehydration has been recognized as a good pre-treatment prior to the regular drying. Okay, so osmotic dehydration has the potential to remove the water at the low temperatures. And it is an energy efficient method as water does not go through a phase change. As it is done at low temperature, so there is no effect on or less effect on the nutrition present in the fruits and vegetable and vitamins present in the fruits and vegetable, as well as there is a less chances of uh, degradation of the texture as it is done in the regular drying method. Okay, so it gives rise to three types of simultaneous counter current flows. One is water diffusion into the solution. Number two is solute diffusion into the food. Then third is leaching out the product's own solutes. Okay, so why we prefer osmotic dehydration? So in dehydration, sensorial properties are affected, whereas in osmotic dehydration, sensorial properties are very good because there is less degradation of the texture or less changes in the texture. Okay, there will be in regular dehydration, there will be more shrinkage as compared to in osmotic dehydration. In normal dehydration, there is a high temperature is used, so there will be a loss of volatile flavors. But in osmotic dehydration, there is retention of fresh fruits flavors. And in normal dehydration, there is a huge nutrient loss because it is done at high temperatures. But in osmotic dehydration, as it is done at low temperatures, so there is a retention of nutrients. And in dehydration, there is a chances of physical contamination, but in osmotic dehydration, there is no chances of contamination. Hence, for improved quality and ready-to-eat products, osmodehydration is the best choice. So, what is the principle of osmosis? If there is two containers, one container in which a fruit is placed and there is a water or a dilute solution in one segment, and other segment there is a concentrated solution. So in between there is a membrane. So more water passes from dilute solution to the concentrated solution. Okay, and it will passes until concentration become equal in both the sides. Okay, because there are more freely moving water molecules on the left, more diffuse through the pores of the membrane from right to left than from the right to left. Then what are the factors affecting osmotic dehydration? The type, first of all, the type of osmotic agent we use, concentration of osmotic solution, time of treatment, temperature of the osmotic solution, size and geometry of the material, solution to material mass ratio, and level of agitation of the solution. So different type of osmotic agents used are, number one is calcium chloride. Calcium chloride increase the firmness of apple juice pieces and preserve the texture during the storage. Next osmotic agent is the lactose and has the much lower level of sweetness than the sucrose and low solubility in the aqueous solution. Then after osmotic agent is the sodium chloride, and it basically retards the oxidative and non-enzymatic browning, sometimes bleaching effects on the colored products. Then sucrose. Sucrose, the dry sugar is unsuitable due to the oxidative browning and difficulty in disposing the sugar syrup formed. That's why we will use the sucrose in the powdered form. Then mixture of sucrose and salt and ethanol and the salt. Okay, so more effective than sucrose alone due to the combination of properties of both the solutes. Next factor is the concentration of the osmotic solution. So high concentration of the solution and long osmotic times increase the penetration depth of osmotic agents and decrease the moisture content of the samples. Next factor is time of treatment. The rate of both moisture loss and solids gain in the highest for first 2 hours, followed by progressively lower rates for the rest of the time. Then rapid loss of water in the beginning is due to the large osmotic driving force between the fresh fruit and the surrounding hypertonic solution. Then temperature of the osmotic solution. Higher process temperatures promote faster moisture loss through better mass transfer characteristics on the surface due to lower viscosity of the osmotic medium. However, above 45 degrees Celsius, enzymatic browning and the flavor deterioration begins to take place. The best processing temperature will depend on the type of the food. For example, for green beans, 20 degrees Celsius gives better result, while 40 degrees Celsius is too much high temperature. Okay, then size and geometry of the material. The surface area to volume ratio has been shown to be the influencing factor, with higher ratio favoring better osmotic dehydration rate. Next factor is solution to material mass ratio. As the solution to sample ratio increased, the osmosis rate increased up to a certain level and then level off. The weight ratio of solution to the product most often used is between 4 and 10. Then level of agitation of the solution. The osmotic dehydration is faster when syrup is agitated. This is because of reduced mass transfer resistance at the surface. Then enhancement of osmotic dehydration. Then application of microwave during osmotic dehydration. Application of vacuum as a pre-treatment, which will enhance the osmotic dehydration. Application of blanching as a pre-treatment, which will also enhance the osmotic dehydration. Then application of high hydrostatic pressure as a pre-treatment. So number 1 is application of ultrasound in osmotic dehydration. Ultrasound can travel through a solid medium, therefore it can influence mass transfer. A phenomenon known as acoustic cavitation is generated during the application, as ultrasonic waves can generate minute vapor-filled bubbles that collapse rapidly or generate voids in liquids. Subsequently, rapid pressure fluctuation are induced within the wet material by the ultrasonic waves. Next is the application of microwave during osmotic dehydration, so that material absorbing microwave energy directly and internally and converting it into the heat and moisture outflux effectiveness of the microwaves in immersion mode is reduced due to resistance of medium itself for absorption of microwaves. The spray mode uses in a thin layer of osmotic solution that is continuously flushed down, and this eliminates the problem of sample floating. Okay, then application of blanching as a pre-treatment for enhancement of osmotic dehydration. So hot water or steam blanching is a pre-treatment before osmotic dehydration with the purpose of enzyme inactivation and to promote gas removal from surfaces and intercellular spaces. prevention of oxidation, discoloration, and off-flavor development and microbial growth. So water blanching is done at 85 to 100 degrees Celsius, usually results in loss of nutrients such as minerals and vitamins. Next is application of high hydrostatic pressure as a pre-treatment for enhancement of osmotic dehydration for fruits and vegetables. So high pressure treatments can be applied to liquid and solid foods with or without packaging at pressures between 100 and 800 megapascal. High pressures cause permeabilization of the cell structure, leading to the enhancement of mass transfer rates during osmotic dehydration. The high hydrostatic pressure with the combination of mild heat treatment can be used for blanching purposes in carrots, green beans, and green peas. Then the advantages are quality improvement in terms of color, flavor, and texture, lower energy requirements, packaging and distribution cost reduction, retention of nutrients during storage. This provides better retention of volatile flavors and reduces the tissue damage compared with conventional air and sun drying processes. Next is the disadvantages. The reduction in acidity level reduces the characteristic taste of some products, and this can overcome by adding fruit acid in the solution. Sugar coating is not desirable in some products, and quick rinsing in water may be necessary after the treatment. Next is the osmotic dehydration with other combined processes such as vacuum drying, air drying, or blanching were found expensive, and it is a time-taking process. Okay, then impact of osmotic dehydration on texture and color. During osmotic dehydration, the viscous natures of fruits and vegetables increase while their elasticity decreases due to sugar uptake. Then osmotic dehydration improves fruit quality by stabilizing color parameters and allows less color loss of fruit by enzymatic oxidative browning due to infusion of extensive sugars. This provides better retention of volatile flavors. Okay, so the conclusion is the food application of the osmotic dehydration process provides a potential to apply energy efficient procedures on an industrial scale. And osmotic dehydration has a tremendous market potential for producing high quality of food with different varieties. Okay. From this, the question may be asked like, explain the osmotic dehydration for fruits and vegetables and differentiate between the normal dehydration and the osmotic dehydration. Okay, explain the principle of osmotic dehydration. Likewise, question will be asked in your final exams. So prepared for these points for your final exams. And I hope this session is clear to all. And thank you so much for watching this video.